Right, today's PowerPoint is going to tell you all about the themes of love and fate in Romeo and Juliet. As I said with the other PowerPoint, I'm not going to sit and just read through everything that's on the slides because that's a little bit pointless and it's not very nice to have that happen to you. All you need to know basically is that their love is the most crucial driving force in the play, and the points that are on this slide support that argument and give you things to think about. The key thing really is the question, which I will read, is does Juliet's age make their relationship appear immature and reckless, or does it make their actions seem braver? And it's up to you to decide what you think the answer to that might be. It's important for you to recognise that their love and passion is very different from the traditional courtly love that would have taken place between couples at the time. I've got a definition of it here for you, but it was generally very distant and very cold, the man doing all the running and wooing the lady, and it's very different from how Romeo and Juliet are. Romeo's so-called relationship with Rosaline, that never did turn into a relationship, is an example of courtly love where he chases after her and she's always vowing that she won't have anything to do with him. Mercutio makes fun of him because of it, and it's completely different from the love affair that he has with Juliet, that is full of passion and romance. The other key difference between Romeo and Juliet's love and any other courtly love at the time is the fact that they did physically desire each other and wanted a sexual relationship too. Sexual awakening of this young couple is part of the core action of the play. As well as courtly love and sexual love, there is obviously family love in the play, and you have very close relationships between some members of the family. Very different from the relationships that we have as families today, where people tend to be closer. But in medieval times, the lord and lady of the family would not necessarily bring up their child on a day-to-day basis, as we've discussed in the lesson. But they do love their children, and that's something that I think you have to remember as well. The other kind of love is obviously the love that exists between friends. They are very close and they support each other throughout the play, to such an extent that Romeo, in order to get revenge over Mercutio's death, kills Tybalt, which causes the tragedy to unfold and everything to go dramatically wrong towards the end of the play. But generally they are very close as friends, and they are a good band of people. The next theme is the theme of fate in the play, and we know right from the very start in the prologue that Romeo and Juliet are going to die, and the audience are told straight away a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life. So we know that this has happened, and the whole of the rest of the play is leading up to that point. There's references to death and graves and curses throughout. They blame fate for a lot of things, but somehow kind of blaming fate does take the blame away from each other and stops them feeling guilty perhaps about some of the things they've done and some of the choices they make. Just as we judge Lord Capulet harshly for the way he treats Juliet, even though actually at the time he was behaving as a good father and a careful father and looking out for his daughter, the characters in the play use the idea of fate to blame somebody for the actions that they have taken. And so in the play, Shakespeare is exploring the idea of fate versus personal responsibility. It's very easy to blame fate. Oh, I am fortune's fool. But was it just fate? Or were the characters to blame as well? And this slide gives some of the other reasons why you could say they died if it wasn't purely down to fate. Friar Lawrence's fault for suggesting this dangerous plan without thinking it through? Was it the feud that meant that everything's going to happen and end in violence anyway? Juliet's parents took their eye off the ball a bit, weren't paying attention to what was happening or what she felt like or what she actually wanted to do. Romeo and Juliet were far too in love to think straight, and they should have taken things more slowly and perhaps thought a little bit more about what they were doing. The nurse, she didn't stop Juliet from getting involved with the Montague, or didn't back her up when she said she wouldn't marry Paris, so she kind of dipped in and out of the process. Or was it all just bad luck and timing? There's no right or wrong answer, but I think you need to be aware of the various different thoughts on this and actually come up with a couple of thoughts yourself about what you think is true. Was it fate? Was it the characters' actions? Or was it a mixture of the two?